Hi, I'm Guha Shankar. I'm Folklife Specialist at the American Folklife Center at the Library of Congress, and I'm here at ATALM 2018 talking about how to navigate the Library of Congress's online catalog in order to access materials in the American Folklife Center at the Library of Congress. The American Folklife Center, just to give a very brief overview, is the world's premier repository for ethnographic field recordings, starting before the turn of the 19th century and all the way into the present. We specifically have, with regard to this particular project in this video, many materials containing the recorded expressions of indigenous communities across the United States and from around the world. And today what I'm going to do is to show people how to specifically navigate in very simple steps the Library of Congress's online catalog to get to the materials or get access to what materials there are that are available in the American Folklife Center. This is by no means the be-all and the end-all. It's a step towards getting researchers acquainted with, on a broad level, some of the materials that we have at the American Folklife Center. The most important step is to contact my fellow colleagues and reference staff at the American Folklife Center, and you can do that in a couple of different ways. The most direct way is to email folklife@loc.gov. That's folklife, one word, at loc.gov, and that'll get you to an research specialist who can help you dig further into the collections and determine A, what the rights and reproduction processes are and issues are with particular collections. Just parenthetically, I will note that the materials we have in our collections, we do not hold a copyright to any of them. Particularly with indigenous collections, we are very mindful and very aware of the ways in which cultural protocols and cultural sensitivities govern the use and circulation of those materials. So there are a couple of different steps that will have to be undertaken along the way, and a reference staff will help you navigate through those various processes. So to cut to the chase, let me begin by saying that what we do in terms of, if you're coming in from the outside or even from within the library's walls, the place to start is at loc.gov. That gets you to the main interface page for the Library of Congress's many different websites. And what you will do is at the Library of Congress, main web pages at loc.gov, you will see a tab below the main splash picture which says Library Catalog. If you click on that one, I'm trying to do this in a minimum number of clicks, you will then be taken to the sub-page which gives you three search options: Browse, Advanced Search, and Keyword Search. My suggestion in order to get immediately to the materials which are housed in the American Folklife Center is to go to the Advanced Search, and that has a couple of advantages, as I will show you. When you press Advanced Search, what happens is you are taken to the fill-in drop-down form. And let us do a very simple experiment. I'm going to, for instance, search on the keyword term Sioux in the first box. And I'm going to leave the other three boxes not filled out for the moment. It's not really necessary when you're searching for a broad term like the Native community, which we're going to be dealing with. The second most important click that you want to do is to add limits. There are several kinds of limits. There's limits by location in the library, place of publication, types of material, language, and so on, as you will see. You want to go to the drop-down boxes in here, and if you scroll up just about two or so turns of the wheel, you'll get to American Folklife. There's American Folklife and American Folklife Reference Collection. For now, we will concentrate on looking at materials in American Folklife, which is the name of the reading room and also our center. And then once you've checked that particular or highlighted that particular term, you'll go down to the bottom of the screen and hit search. And you'll see that there are 25 records displayed per page. You can actually up the limit and go to, I would say you can get 50 records that'll be displayed on the page, probably about the maximum that you want to do. Now that you click the search button, and what will happen is the database will churn away, and it will give you these materials, which are collections at the collection level, mind you, not the item level. That is, a collection is in the broad aggregate collection, which have to do with Sioux communities. And so you will see these various materials, starting with 1977 inaugural folk dance, Alice C. Fletcher collection of Plains Indian cylinder recordings. They're organized alphabetically. Alice C. Fletcher collection of Plains Indian cylinder recordings are some of the oldest collections that we have. So let's take a look and see what happens when we click on that particular record. And what it will do is it will reveal a catalog record for this particular collection. And what it's immediately going to tell you is that the original materials, there were 100 sound cylinders. These were wax cylinder recordings made at the turn of the century or shortly before by Alice Fletcher, a noted ethnographer and field collector. And if you look here within the summary field, it'll tell you the various tribal nations that are included in this collection. So there's Arapaho, Cheyenne, Dakota, Kiowa, Osage, Ponca, Potawatomi, Wichita, Winnebago, and Yankton Sioux. These are all made from the plains back in the period between 1890 and 1900. What it will not tell you, for instance, is, and this is where my previous caveat to talk to the research librarians, is to tell you whether or not there's a digital surrogate for this. So what you see down here, for instance, at this additional formats, it'll tell you there are preservation tape reels. When we were starting the Federal Cylinder Project in the 1970s and even earlier, the preservation format of choice was quarter-inch reel-to-reels. It may very well be the case that we have those reel-to-reels already accessible and available for you were you to come to the American Folklife Center. And it's also possible that if you put a request in ahead of time, we may able to have those materials digitized and waiting for you in digital form when you do access them in the Library of Congress. This is the other part of it which has to be really emphasized, is that not all of our materials, and especially not the Native American collections, are digitized and online. That is simply because we do not put up everything online without consent and collaboration with Native American communities in particular, because of the sovereign nation status that they enjoy vis-a-vis the American federal government, the United States federal government. We are always working in consultation and collaboration. The exceptions to those, for instance, that are online collection materials are from the Omaha community, which we digitized and put up back online during in the 1980s, and a much more recent effort with the Passamaquoddy Nation of Maine. And we've been working with our partners at Mukurtu Content Management System and Local Context Digital Platform in order to co-curate and put up those materials online. But those are special instances and not necessarily representative of the aggregate collections. So now you have found the way to navigate and negotiate the American Folklife Center's collections with regard to Native American materials. Again, the important thing to note here is that you do want to contact the librarians at the Library of Congress, and particularly the American Folklife Center, and those are available at these addresses. Folklife@loc.gov is the main way to get immediately to the American Folklife Center, and there's a much more generalized Ask a Librarian page as well. Thank you very much. This is Guha Shankar, American Folklife Center at ATALM 2018. Thank you.